Hello, everyone. Unity, very important. And V for victory and peace and all things good. A beautiful day here in the Netherlands. With this live, I wish to keep it as on point as I may, and also I wish to and perhaps not answer any questions. You can comment, of course, but I will not be addressing any questions on this live. So let's look at Gesara and QFS, if you will. You know, these narratives and these themes have been ongoing, as most of you know, for many years. Let's look at the possibility first of them ever coming to fruition. You know, one of the main things that we're seeing currently with Nasara, with the ones that are Nasara Gesara, with the ones that are supporting that timeline and putting the information out. One of the things that they say now, and they have said in the past, that approximately, I believe, 209 governments worldwide have signed this economic package, which, in the least part, is supposed to free humanity and place them in abundance and wipe out all of the debt. You know, when we look at this and look at it neutrally, so these ones are saying this most humane Gesara event ever, that already 209 governments, if you will, are on board with it. Well, very quickly, ask yourself the question, if this is so, why this total tyrannical scene worldwide, the direct imposition upon individual rights, especially the inalienable rights, and the coercion that has occurred over the last 2 years to inoculate ones with a substance that they do not wish to be inoculated with. When you look at these same governments that are forcing this upon a people, then really go into and look. Are these the same 209 governments worldwide that want to do what is good for humanity? And ask that question. And when you ask that question, it should be very obvious about Gesara and about, let's say, it not coming to fruition. How can it really be if a government wishes to assist the people? Why is it harming them? Why does it attempt to harm them? Now, with Gesara and all of what it is comprised to be, a debt jubilee, if you will, and a gold backed system. Well, immediately when I said gold backed system, one also needs to look at who controls the gold, who owns the majority of the gold upon the planet. And when you look at that, it's not you. It's the same ones, the banks and the governments, that are also doing this harm to you. So why would they, let's say, have good intentions with Gesara and QFS or what have you? So the point, you know, I am here being as neutral as I can in this interview to get the point across, but as you're seeing, it's very difficult to remain neutral on QFS and Gesara because it's so obvious for I what it is. And to say that, it is more or less the tactics to maintain the control on humanity. By having a currency based again on gold, you have to look at who owns the gold. And again, it's not the individual people. And people have been led astray for years now, decades now, with GCR and QFS, prosperity funds, global collateral accounts. Uh, Ones need to realize that all of these are based on an inferior currency, financial system, and backing of that system. Anytime any system uses gold or a resource, you need to immediately look at who owns it. And as with gold, it is in the hands of the few. Now, at this point, I am going to bring GPMS into the equation and what we are doing with this. With the GPMS system, financial system, what it realizes and recognizes is the intrinsic value of the individual. And this is so important because this is what gives the people the actual power. For 99% of the people upon the planet have this intrinsic value. So once that is activated, there is no control of the people. The people are unified together and doing what is humane and what is right for humanity in the entire planet. Having said this, to go deeper, what GPMS is, if anyone really wished to beat the cabal, the Illuminati, the darkness, they would realize what GPMS is. It is that ultimate solution that disempowers them fully. For with their systems and the gold and the resources that they own, when you take that value away from them, they have no power. And GPMS takes that power away from them by activating the intrinsic value of the individual, which can never be taken away. It is part of your God-given rights. It is your right that can never be taken away. And it's this value, when the value is placed upon every individual upon the planet, then they can no longer be controlled. And also, this value of the individual, the intrinsic value as a unified people worldwide, it supports it supports the new financial system of the people and the new value, but at the same time, this 1%, the cabal that Trump and everyone is fighting against, it devalues everything they have to zero. It takes away their power by devaluing their basis of value, what they're using to control everyone, mainly gold and assets. When that is devalued and has no value, the game is over. And this is what GPMS does. GPMS has the game over and is creating the new. And it needs to be said again, and I need to say, all of you that are of good intent and that are divine and are practicing your co-creator abilities at attempting to realize a great timeline for humanity, your efforts are best put within yourself and join as a whole with all of the others doing this, rather than supporting another timeline where it keeps you looping and you never have control, and it also keeps you dependent upon someone else doing it for you. It doesn't work. If Gesara and Nasara was to be, it would have been done a long time ago. I mean, look at it again. 209 countries have signed this. Why all of the insanity persisting? And it is not acceptable, and it's absolute nonsense with any that say that humanity must go into great fear or what have you so that they awaken. That is not true. There is more than enough awakened upon the planet at this time. And the old political arena and the old justice systems, the legal systems within countries, they are fraudulent. I mean, you have seen with the U.S. at least how elections are fraudulent. Also, Canada, but it runs prevalent around the world in different countries in Europe. You're also seeing it now in Australia. And it's happening for good reasons because the old political government regime is not a part of the future. The part of the future is the people having simple administration committees to distribute funding, money to everyone worldwide, and to immediately end the insane poverty, the insane the insane poverty and the lack. So what GPMS does, it lifts everyone up. And you know, our uh, main objective right now with GPMS is we're here to assist the majority of the population upon the planet that are in lack, in various degrees of poverty and famine and disease and sickness. It's all because of the control of money. So, having said this, our focus is upon uh, raising the majority of people up out of the ridiculous stress, the savagery, the primitive control, and what have you, and placing the full power into the people's hands. The good people, the 99%, you have everything in your heart, the morals and ethics on how to lead a good civilization and how to be part of that. You don't need extensive charters of rights, constitutions, and things written in law that manipulate and intentionally your basic fundamental rights. It's nonsense. You know, what come up a few days ago, or I should say a couple weeks ago, in a online meeting about GPMS, you don't have a written law when anyone comes into your house. And I love this analogy. When someone comes into your house to visit, they act respectably, they act out of love, and for the most part, and they don't violate your space, you know. So that's on the micro scale. On the macro scale, this is what GPMS is. You know, we don't need a written law to enter a house, but we also don't need a written law to enter and exist upon this planet to the degree that it is. So, having said this, again, what GPMS is, it simplifies all of your inalienable rights. It simplifies the entire society for the planet, and has humanity acting in an advanced way. Now, any of these old funds, getting back to that, again, if it's based on a material resource, it's disempowering to the people. And when you see that, you know that it's a tactic of control and deception. So, again, what I'm saying is shift your focus out of these looping Gesara QFS mechanisms. Put your focus at uniting worldwide with GPMS, where you actually see the tangible number of people that are joining and building this. This is concrete, it's tangible, it's material, it's not a false hope. If you put it in a comparison to Gesara and QFS, everyone is led that these governments are doing it for them, that someone else is doing it, that the white hats. That is not true at all. And that's why everyone has been led astray for such a long period with these old narratives. It's truly time to wake up and to really see through that illusion of what you have been fed. And again, to beat the darkness is already beat. The 1%, they already lost because GPMS exists. It fully disempowers them. So where GPMS is upon the planet, everyone just merely needs to unite as the whole, and it's all over. You don't need to suffer this misery of worrying about your financial future, how much you have. All of that is taken care of instantly. You live in a stress-free world with GPMS, and GPMS can happen instantly. With the power of three analogy or example, it can be achieved in 21 days. The maximum population, the majority reached upon the planet. And with GPMS, what it does for all of humanity, if the governments really had the people's best interest in mind, they could do what we're doing with GPMS in 2 days. The governments, if they truly were for the people, they just get together today and say, we're making the announcement worldwide, that the old financial structure didn't work. We're doing this to liberate and free humanity. But they don't have your best intentions in mind. They are the evil, they are the darkness. And the ones, there were some light ones that went into politics that, let's say, have been bought, but very quickly these light ones are disheveled from the politics. They cannot remain a part of it because it's corrupt, it's deceptive, and it's fraudulent, and it's designed to control the people, to enslave the people. And I don't need to go into that. Everyone knows this. But the real new, free, and abundant world is coming. It's GPMS. It's growing every day. And the quicker each one of you that is watching this makes the choice and gets ones registered with this, the quicker that we do it. And, when you visit our website, it's a general outline of the plan. We don't need to define the intricate details of GPMS, for all of these details and solutions are within the voice of the people as they come together. So you don't need to complicate it, and that's why GPMS is not complicated. And any of you that are for the first time, considering looking at GPMS, we have a comparison page of the old versus the new. And look at that. And the new is what you're voting for, what you're supporting when you register your consent. So you have the new, then you have the old, what you have now. And this is where you see that there truly is no comparison, and how nothing can compete with GPMS. It's the most humane, absolute solution for humanity ever. And it is divinely delivered to humanity. And I'm one to do it. And I'm one of the guardians to do it. And that's why I have begun it. I have no reserves. I have no fears, for I do speak directly to Creator. And I know what the mission is. And I'm here gathering all of those that also know what the mission is and unite in this great time. So all that are, let us say, that are not in alignment yet with GPMS, they will come very quickly. So I said I was going to keep this short, and I believe I did, and I covered the points I wish to cover now. So having said that, winks, kisses, unity, and victory. It has already happened. Love, light, and gratitude, and have an amazing day, morning, night, wherever you may be. The pain and the misery is all over. It's done. Now it's joy, bliss, happiness, and love, and harmony, and ease.